a lot of the like normal decks.
Ooh, we have. Sorry to interrupt. We have Grixis Niv Mizzet back on screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you're saying.
I think when it doesn't have that explosive start, a lot of the normal like fair decks that people are saying are very bad right now actually just have a shot against it.
Yeah. I think the deck, honestly, in my opinion, is better without Death Shadow, like trying to reach for the black.
Yeah.
Because it's like literally the only black card you're playing, and then besides Street Wraith.
Yeah.
And so you're playing this like kind of kill myself package when I don't think you need to be.
Your lands already kill you a lot, so you're just like, what if sometimes I fetch black and play a 1-mana 8/8?
Yeah. And then sometimes it like seems really good, and then other times you're like at like 13 with 3 Death Shadows in hand, 2 or 3 Death Shadows in hand. You're like, wow, I feel real bad right now.
Yeah.
But regardless, Jeskai Delver, so another Delver deck, not quite blue-red wizards.
How would you combat Death Shadow Zoo? That's kind of an interesting question. I think you should be looking towards Anger of the Gods style sweepers,
or Punishing Mana.
Yeah, Punishing Mana, because they are very bad at maintaining a stable mana base.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's like a decent way to just go for any deck. If you can, if they have like a glaring weakness and it's relatively easy to exploit,
Yeah.
It's a pretty surefire way to just have some kind of combat against it.
This is interesting. Jeskai Delver.
Yeah. We've seen over the last, I don't know, year, maybe a little longer, a decrease in the popularity of Delver.
Delver has been long on the decline.
Yeah.
It's just that it really started to decline like faster more recently. The best Delver deck right now really is Blue-Red Wizards.
Yeah.
So playing a like true Delver deck where your creatures are like all care about spells is a little bit of a rarity nowadays.
Yeah. And I think it also has to do with the fact that over the last, year or so, there's been a definite decrease in the viability of just control decks in general, which is in like this style of control deck, right? So Jeskai, where they're like more of a tempo control deck than a sit back and wait control deck. Which
you are applying pressure the entire time, but you are applying you never have a firm grasp on the game. You are just trying to hold them back long enough to kill them. You don't actually care.
Yeah, you're not trying to completely stop them from what they're doing. You're just trying to stop them from stopping you, basically.
Yeah.
What's our opinion on land destruction? In what regard? Because if you're talking about just in general, this man over here loves it.
I actually am playing Panza, and I've been cutting land destruction and shaving on the numbers. I think land destruction is in a relatively weak spot now, even in a dedicated land destruction deck. Your land destruction should be like Ghost Quarter, Field of Ruin, maybe Tech Edge.
Yeah.
I don't think that like land destruction spells are any good right now.
They are good against some decks, as they will always be. Like we were just saying, Death Shadow Zoo.
Yeah, I mean, like
you just crush them with land.
If you're playing Panza, you play 10 1-mana mana accelerants. So the goal is turn 2, I am playing Blood Moon or a land destruction spell.
Right.
And when you do that against decks that are extremely okay keeping 1-landers, frequently you just automatically win the game.
Right. See, I think the big thing about it right now, especially in like Modern, is that there isn't a lot of lands that are like 1 or 2 ofs or something like that win the game for them. You know what I mean? Where like most of the lands that you're trying to blow up are like basically interchangeable. You're trying to blow up basics, you're trying to blow up duels, whatever. So like for instance, right now, blowing up the Celestial Colonnade is pretty good.
Yeah. So when you blow up a relevant land, it doubles in effectiveness, I think, because you're getting rid of the unique effect of the land, and you're denying your opponent's resources.
Correct.
Strict resource denial doesn't mean much without any backup.
Right.
But when you're taking away something unique from your opponent as well, it changes things a lot.
Yeah, so here's a card, Counter Squall, if we could get that up. It's not I saw it a lot before. I haven't seen it recently. It is an interesting one. Chris on the back foot here. Really, he's actually might just die if he has no answer. Here we go. Counter Squall. Counter target non-creature spell the controller loses 2 life. It's kind of like Ionize. A little different. Being a non-creature is...
Yeah, and lose 2 life is...
different than 2 damage.
Yeah, it's like a real difference sometimes.
I don't know. Being that it says specifically player, and it was printed after the errata, to where it would say any target if it hit planeswalkers, means that it's less relevant than it would have been maybe before, but it still is different. All right, so after this quick game 1, I know we didn't say much about it. We were talking about other things, but we'll definitely bring you into this next game. But sideboards here, Chris Brown on the Grixis Mizzet deck has 1 Gonti Lord of Luxury, 1 Notion Thief, 1 Thoughtseize, 1 Cyclonic Rift, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 1 Relic of Progenitus, 1 Dragon Lord Salumgar, 1 Summary Dismissal, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, 2 Crux of Fate, and 2 Damping Sphere. What's coming in here?
I am very uncertain. This is a weird sideboard.
There's a lot of cards that I would not expect to see.
I think Notion Thief could be very good if he starts drawing cards. He played a Serum Visions, I believe, so like he has the ability to do stuff like that. You can respond to cantrips with Notion Thief. Gonti seems okay. Like, not super good.
Yeah, it would stop a Swiss Spear, which we saw actually kill him. So he might be inclined. All right, so let's see the other sideboard really quick because they're shuffling up. So on Justin's side, we have Wear Tear, 2 Anger of the Gods, 2 Rest in Peace, 2 Crumble to Dust, 1 Geist of Saint Traft, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 1 Settled Wreckage, and 2 Sony Silence. What do you like here?
Honestly, if I'm Justin and I have perfect information, I don't think I board anything except Geist of Saint Traft. He might not know that based on what he looked at. It's not extremely obvious what his opponent was on, but he knows that his opponent played a counterspell and remands.
Yeah. So he's on. See, he knows his opponent's on Grixis control of some type.
Yeah. So Geist is probably coming in anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think any of these other cards matter. The only other card I could see even remotely being relevant is if he thinks that he's on some sort of Delver plan and he wants to bring in like Anger of the Gods. But that's like not even that good against Delver.
Yeah, that's pretty suspicious, you know.
Yeah, Chris could bring in Damping Sphere, but like that card's bad bad for him too.
Yeah. So
this is like
minimal sideboard on each side.
Yeah, this is like basically game 1 2.0.
Yeah.
You know, it's like game 1.02.
And I think that it kind of attests to the openness of the format right now, you know? Like, neither of these are technically, like, super meta decks, but neither of them have really sideboard options against, you know, anything that they're doing.
Jeez, these guys are playing quick.
Yeah, so...
Okay, alright. This is how you stop a Swift Spear.
Yeah.
You kill it when he's tapped out. Surgical extraction
On the
lightning bolt.
All right, bolt you in response. Or no, he doesn't. He should have.
I don't think he wanted to fetch, because then you probably would have had to shock to maintain good mana.
I guess. I don't know. He has another fetch land and an island, so he'll have dual land, one of each basic, and then a fetch land to go get another dual land. I think that seems fine.
He might need double black for something.
Sure.
Especially if he brought in Gonti.
Yeah, that's true. But getting a lightning bolt for free is
feels
bad.
Yeah, it feels bad to just let him do that. Especially since now he knows your hand and he knows that it's doing basically nothing.
Yeah, it's a remand, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's a Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah.
Wow, that does actually nothing. Jeez.
Oh! He drew another surgical. I don't know why he brought that in, but it's just like looking really good now.
Yeah, I mean, getting a 4 of any card is just really good. But especially like Lightning Bolt when you're on this like
tempo-y game plan.
Yeah. I don't know. That just seems like a really weird pick that just like happens to pay off, especially since his hand is double Swift Spear, and he's just like, all right, I'll bait out the first bolt and then get the rest of them. The second one being in hand.
Yeah. When the second one is in hand, it's really rough because it acts as a discard spell also.
Yeah, for free basically.
Yeah. It's like really awkward that it generates card advantage.
Yeah. I think the second one is extremely less powerful. Oh my god, third Swift Spear. It's extremely less powerful than the first one.
We are getting in.
Yeah.
Does surgical say non-land?
I believe so.
Okay.
Can we bring it up real quick? Just
other than a basic plan.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dang. The real correct play would have been
to hit Steam Vents?
No.
Oh, to hit the fetch line.
Yeah, because he knows it's in hand. So it's another discard spell.
Oh yeah, other than basic land. Sure.
So he puts him down to 3 cards in hand again.
Yeah, and gets to trigger Swift Spear.
Nah, but I'd like to be real. He definitely should be holding this for a relevant card.
Yeah, no.
It would be cool to have him
Well, because here's the thing, right? He sees Snapcaster, so if his opponent draws, I don't know, push, right? He's on Grixis, so obviously he knows he might have it.
Yeah.
If he goes push and then tries to snap push, Yeah, and
he
just like
he
surgical
really blows him out.
Yeah.
Although it is a little annoying to time, because you do have to surgical in response to the Snapcaster trigger.
But I mean, with this little cards in his graveyard, you flash and snap with one card in your graveyard. Clearly, you know what he's gonna.
Well,
pick.
and he does have to target it.
Oh, a Nicol Bolas here, the Ravager.
Not from his sideboard. This is a main deck card. Didn't know about this.
I did not either. He seems to be on Grixis Dragons.
Yeah, it's called Grixis Niv Mizzet. Probably picked Niv Mizzet
because he's on 4 of them, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Whereas he's probably on like 2 Nicol Bolas, if I had to guess.
Discards Hieroglyphic Illumination.
And he's only on 2 land, which, I don't know, maybe the rest of the cards in his hand are just better than cycling to draw a card?
Maybe.
Like if he has a counter spell, like there's barely a point where...
Well, I mean, if he's a Bolt here...
I don't know, if he had a counter spell, he probably would have countered the Nicol Bolas, I'd assume. Unless he has like Negate, but...
Not sure. Yeah. Okay, he'll block. Takes the bait. Gets bolted. Is he going to surgical Nicol Bolas?
That seems real loose.
It does. Well, he doesn't know anything about Chris's deck, really. He didn't show him anything. Yeah, we don't either.
Yeah.
If he's on 4 Nicol Bolas... That's just that might be like a super good blowout.
Yeah.
He's on 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's not great. Especially if he's on 1, it just does nothing.
Yeah.
I think honestly the play here is just wait for him to try to snap something.
Nope. Looks like he's gonna lightning helix. Oh, now remand?
That seems fine. Like, Justin's still in a pretty good position.
Yeah.
But now he knows that, like...
Snapcaster.
Man, he reveals the one that he didn't know about. That seems rough. Oh, because he's surgical. I think he's surgical to remand.
Oh.
He just did it. Well, because he probably says, all right, well, this is the only spell. I'm just going to keep you off of it for free.
Sure.
Ouch. He's got 2 of each, though.
2 of each remand. Well, are they 2 of each? I can't tell. Is one of those Jace versus Vraska? Or is one of those Modern Masters 15?
2 different arts.
Yeah, he's mismatched arts, but...
God, I hate you.
Digging deep. Must match.
Yep, those are the 2 different arts. And then the one from Modern Masters. Alright, so we had Anger of the Gods here. Cleans up the 1 Swift Spear.
Got him.
Yeah. Chris is not at, like, death, but having no other thing, like, just getting it off the board and saving, like, a lot of life over the next couple turns is probably a good idea. Alright, here comes that lightning helix that you knew about.
It's going to be a slow game now.
Yeah, both of them are kind of down on resources. Their aggressive elements have run dry.
Yeah.
Well, I should say Justin's, right? Because the Chris on Grixis isn't really an aggressive deck anyway. He's looking to eventually turn the corner.
His, like, aggressive thing was playing Nicol Bolas.
Yeah.
That well runs dry pretty quick the second Nicol Bolas leaves your hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is this number 2? It is.
Jeez. Would have been correct.
I don't know. Is this the only other one?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, it seems like Chris is now, like, starting to climb out of this, like obviously seeing 3 Swift Spears, he was very much on the back foot.
Yeah.
He had to, like, claw his way to stability, and, I mean, he looks like he's getting there.
He's at such a low life total, though. That
Yeah, and he has, like, 2 snaps in his hand, which are very...
Oh, my gosh.
Another lightning helix. I mean, if he just untaps and has, like, bolt.
This game is very over.
Okay, he has 1
Plays
card.
a land.
Mission briefing? Yeah, that's it.
He wants to read it. What's it do? What is this card? I don't think I've seen this before.
It lets me kill you. That's what it does.
First, it allows me to draw 2 cards.
From my deck.
And you fucked up by not just dumping both cards there.
I still had all these.
Nope.
Nope.
Not a misplay to... Oh, jeez.
For a second there, I thought he tapped wrong, and I was like, "Oh man," because he had already tapped the steam vents.
Oh,
in advance, and I was like, "Wait, did he just leave up planes and that was it?"
Haha, he fell for it. The trap.
All right, here we go. So we had Jeskai Delver taking down Grixis.
Mizzet.
I would say it's like Grixis Dragons. That was actually,
Grixis control with dragons is all of the finishers.
Yeah, it's a little side tangent here. That reminds me of Grixis Dragons in Cons of Tarkir Standard.
Were people playing Grixis Dragons? I don't remember running into that.
Yeah, there was a few versions of Grixis Dragons.
Oh, there were. I remember now, because you would play, like, Silumgar.
Yeah.
And,
you'd play Silumgar, you'd play the Black Reveal Your Dragon, which was, like, a discard spell, if I remember correctly. And
no, Foul Tongue Invocation. Foul Tongue Invocation is an edict for 3 or 2, I don't remember.
I think it was 3.
And... Yeah, and you gain 4 life if you reveal the dragon.
2 and a black
dragon
instant. If you real or have it, you got land.
Very top tier card.
Yep, and then you had the blue one, which was counterspell.
Yeah, it went from being extra blue for force spike to this is actually counterspell.
Yep, and then the red one didn't have. Did it have a reveal dragon card?
Yes, the red one was.
Draconic Roar.
Yes, which deal 3 damage to target creature and the creatures control or a few Reveal a Dragon or controlled one.
Yep, and they'd play all of those, and then they just play like Silumgar.
Are you not going to talk about the rest of the cycle? You got to talk about the rest of the cycle. I know you're talking about the deck.
Sure. I don't know what the other two were because they were so bad.
Orator of Ojutai. 1 and a white for an 0/4 defender flying.
Oh, Reveal a Dragon draw card?
Yeah. Oh, looks like we're getting Chris in here to talk. Or not Chris. His opponent, Justin in here to talk. You want to take this one? All right. I'll step out for a second.
Thank you. Ooh, whoopsies.
We're good. All right. Well, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
All right. So, Jeskai, huh?
Jeskai, Delver.
Right. How do you feel about it?
I like it a lot. It's a fun deck to play, and it catches people off guard pretty easily.
Okay. So is it just like a traditional Jeskai control deck with like Delvers put in, or?
No, it's pure tempo.
Yeah.
You have the Delvers, which you didn't see that match. Spell Quellers.
Okay.
Remands. We got some Dispels in there to help keep them alive.
Okay.
And then Snapcaster Mages pretty much, and my creature.
Yeah.
Oh, Monastery Mentor.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's pure tempo, but I found it can go into a control game pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure. Like, those colors are definitely that. And, like, your cards are very versatile in that. Yeah. Where, like, they are tempo cards, but you could very easily just gear them to be more control-y.
Yep.
Or you just play them a little more reactively than proactively.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw that you had an insane triple Monastery Mentor draw.
Oh, yeah, and game 2. That
or
was,
not Monastery Mentor, sorry. Monastery Swift Spear.
Yes, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and we're like, all right, cool. He got the first one, he bolted it. You know, this might, like, stop him in his tracks, and you're just like, play second one, play third one, and we're like, oh, man.
Yeah, after I hit the first surgical, I was looking around. I was like, he's got anger in there now because he had 2 of them. Mm-hmm. So I was going to try to play around it with the bolt and surgical to get him out of range.
Yeah.
But I had the burn spells. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. We were talking, like, we saw the second one, and we're like, after the first one, we were like, whoa, like, that was such a good play. And then the second one, we're like, well, if he just, like, holds it, he has 1 Snapcaster, and if he just, like, waits until he plays it with having nothing in the graveyard, it gives, like, no value from the Snapcaster Mage.
I was waiting. I saw him tap out, and with the remand sitting in there, I was like, I can't risk this again on him getting a counter on me.
Yeah.
So I figured to get rid of it, not to deal with it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And then we saw just the rest of the deck playing how it should with burn spells finishing it off for the region stuff. Yep. So, how do you feel are your best matches?
Actually, control.
Yeah.
Control anything that isn't going to come at me real fast. I think I have a pretty good shot at. It's pre-board, like the human spirits or Tron matchup even are the ones that worry me.
Okay.
But I played Hardened Scales earlier, and that once I was able to get going, I was able to go and held off pretty good.
Okay.
Or held up.
So, what do you think is like the best card in the deck?
Best card. The burn spells. I guess I can't really go anything and.
Sure.
Bolt and Helix to me are the same thing. There's 7 copies in the deck.
Yeah.
They're probably the all-stars of it.
Okay, so what were you on before this?
Jeskai Control.
Just Jeskai Control?
Yeah. Actually with Nairi. So the Emrakul combo.
Okay, yeah. So what made you switch it up to go more tempo?
Well, I was playing the Delver first.
Okay.
Went to Control for the regionals, and I just needed a break. I was like, let's go to something that's just pure fun.
Yeah.
So win or lose, the deck's just fun. Just the interactions with people. It's like you're playing what, and then
I'm definitely all down for the fun. And like we saw last round, Blue Red Wizards. It's a pretty similar, in certain aspects where it's a blue-based, blue/bolt-based tempo deck, rather than a control deck, which we've seen in those colors recently.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played that matchup. I've still yet to play in a real game, humans or spirits, so I'm not sure how that'll actually pan out, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I think you're decently favored, or not like favored, but you're not like behind, right? So, which is pretty important, as like definitely the tribal decks are something that like a lot of decks have to look out for. So, do you play any other decks?
No, I just pretty much play Jeskai colored stuff.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, blue-white control, Jeskai control, or Delver.
All right, on. So, what did you bring in the sideboard?
I brought in the 2 surgical extractions and Geist of St. Taft.
Okay. Yeah, we saw when we went to sideboards, we saw them, and we both were like, neither of you guys really had anything that was like, this card needs to come in. You know, like the Geist seemed really good because he was just on Grixis colors. So, like, that's just... that one was pretty obvious to bring in, but the rest of them were like, this could come in, and like a lot of the cards were like obviously geared towards other matchups.
Yeah.
He had the same thing where like his sideboard was very geared towards like Tron and stuff like that.
That's what I figured.
So it was just weird, and we had said we went to game 2 and it was like, yeah, this is kind of like game 1.5 because like not much has changed.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little worried. I forgot to put in anything for control, so I didn't put any other counter spells in.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, because it's the second control game I played, but I used the surgicals pretty much as future counter spells.
Yeah. Pay
2 life to remove a threat permanently from the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it seemed to do really well. Like getting the second bolt out of his hand while you had the second Swift Spear. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, that was I want to say it's probably play of that game.
Oh yeah.
That bolt because it was too clutch.
Yeah, it was interesting. We were debating on whether it was the correct play to just bolt you in response. So, like he decided, Jacob had said that it probably was hit or miss either way, and I thought it was like would have been correct to get the value, but
yeah, so I don't see any other play he had on there at the end of my turn.
Yeah, I think Jacob was worried that he might want to like fetching there. It would be really awkward for him because he didn't know what colors he needed. So like if he would have just got like a basic.
Forced him.
Yeah, so it was like he didn't want to shock himself because you were being very aggressive about it, and so he didn't. But he also didn't want to get a basic because that would have like messed up his land base. So it is what it is.
Yep, it's a good play.
Yeah. It's not like he lost with you at 3 life. So
yeah,
it's not. It wasn't like the determining factor. We have a question, I guess here. Thunderbreak Regent. Have you thought of that?
Oh, that's a dragon?
It is a dragon. I think that would be more for the other deck, honestly, because it's a 4-mana 4/4 that says whenever you target it or another dragon, your opponent takes 3 damage.
Okay. My only problem with that, like the whole deck's geared out at 3 mana.
Okay.
So I could play at 3 no matter what, like, and it kind of just vibes that well. So anything higher than that, it kind of messes me up on my curve.
Yeah, it seemed like you were very low to the ground there.
Yeah, because like at 3 mana, I can use the mission briefings or any of my scry cards to just ditch those lands.
Yeah, I was actually very surprised to see that off the top.
Yeah, just no care for it in the world. Like once I have my 3 lands, I can play as much as I need to play.
Yeah. Is there any cards that you wanted to put in but never got to?
No, I mean I've been playing 2 months now, and
okay.
I'm liking the way it's played now.
Okay.
I think the only thing I really added since Guilds came out was the mission briefings.
Yeah.
Run 2 of them, but.
Okay, so 2, yeah, that seems pretty good. So are you on 4 snaps?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just snap 5/6.
Yeah, it just gives me another chance to get the burn spells when I need them out of my graveyard.
Yeah, it obviously, as you saw right there, it was exactly what you needed.
Exactly. Yeah, and then the chance that the surveil mechanic works just perfectly for me too.
Yeah.
If I don't have that burn spell, I can try to dig for 1.
Yeah, exactly, and even just like. You know, if they're not just dead on the burn spell, you could look at the top 3 and say, "Oh, there's a creature.
Yeah,
you know, there's a Swift Spear. I'm going to get him."
Yeah, there's a lot I can do off it. So
yeah, it seems very powerful. I know that there was a big debate when the card came out whether it would be good enough for modern or not, but
I just think it needs to be in the right shell.
Yeah,
like it works for me perfectly because it's exactly what I want. But I tried it in control and it's just horrible.
Yeah,
I didn't like it anyway.
Okay, but yeah, it seems more of a tempo card than a control card. So
yeah.
No. It flips Delver. It does flip Delver, where Snapcaster does not.
That too, yeah.
So that is a good pro of playing that.
Yeah, I mean,
He's playing Delver.
Oh,
I heard that in the mic too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm only running 18 lands in it.
Oh, okay.
So there's. Well, I think I've run like 12 creatures or 13 creatures. The rest are all spells. So, yeah, it gives me another good spell to...
Yeah.
That gives me good... what's the word?
Like a good percentage to blind flip it?
Yeah, good value.
A good value,
good value card
for
the slot.
Yeah, for sure. So, have you thought about any kind of board wipes?
I have 2 angers in the sideboard and a settle the wreckage.
Okay.
For those human spirits.
For the human spirits. Okay. Have you played against like Tron?
Yeah, I don't like that matchup.
No?
But I changed my sideboard to face it too.
Okay.
Because I wasn't running Stonies for a while in this deck. But yeah, recently I got 2 Stonies, 2 Ceremonious Rejection.
Yeah, I saw those.
To help out.
Yeah, those seem really good.
Yeah.
It also seems decent against like Hardened Scales Affinity / regular Affinity, because that is very much a race, and just like any kind of denial you can put is good.
I got another one too. I forget. It's from the new Zendikar block. Exile. Oh, there it is.
Crumble to Dust.
Crumble to Dust. Yeah, I've used that, and that is hands down best. Like, that's a newer addition too, and I started that with in my control deck.
Okay.
And to bring it into this, because I played Tron with it in control, and be able to drop that on one of their pieces of Tron.
Yeah,
just
and they
ends
just
the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just my whole deck's pressure.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like decent. Would you bring it in against something like Affinity, Hardened Scales Affinity, to be able to get like Ink Moths, Blink Moths?
No. I mean, I've played that matchup twice, and neither times it actually been the Ink Moth worried me.
Okay.
I mean, worst case, I can Path or Bolt it.
Sure.
So it's kind of like, I got other.
You got good answers to it.
Yeah. So
that seems reasonable.
It doesn't worry me. Like, I want to. This also depends on like what I'd be taking out, and most of the other stuff I'd be keeping in for that.
Yeah, it seems like you just want to race. So like taking out something that costs 1 or 2 to bring in something that costs like 3 or 4 seems pretty bad in that matchup.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I played that last round actually, and I brought in 2 Stony Silences, 2 Ceremonious, and the Stony killed it. Once I got the Stony on the board, it was game wrap.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. That I think that card just like actually just kills that deck.
It does.
I mean, they can Nature's Claim it, but
that with the pressure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
I think I had something crazy go on too with the Swift Spears, and I think I dealt 2 Delvers at one point active. Like,
yeah. So I think like the biggest, a really big boon is that you have all these disruptive kind of elements, but you're unlike Control and a lot of these other decks that are around right now, you put on a lot of pressure to back it up.
Yeah.
Which is where I see a lot of decks fall short, where they're like, I bring in these sideboards, this hate and all this other stuff, and they're like, I still can't win against these decks. And you're like, okay, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm seeing my sideboard cards and I play it, and then what? Well, then I'm just doing nothing, or I'm doing a little bit, and it's like, well, a lot of these decks, especially ones that you're bringing in like specific hate for, which is like these degenerate combo decks and stuff like that, you have to apply pressure and get the hate, because if you just give them hate, they're just going to draw out of it.
Yeah.
Or, like, draw out of it, blow up your whatever, So, like, being able to say, all right, here's my hate, and I'm going to kill you in 3 turns.
Yeah, and here's a 3/2 Delver.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
So, they have to, like, try to manage some way of getting rid of the hate while also trying to stop you from killing them, which is a lot to ask for in these kind of decks.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Yeah. So, so really quick, you said you've been playing this version of the deck for how long?
2 months.
2 months?
Yeah, the main board has been the exact same. Like, the only change was I was on 4 ops at one point. I replaced 2 with hieroglyphic illuminations and mission briefing. I split them.
Okay.
But other than that, the deck's been on about 2 months.
Okay. So would you recommend this to new players, experienced players, anybody?
I think a little more experienced.
Okay.
I've had a pretty rough going with it so far, so this is my best start so far with this deck. It takes a while just to know what you're going to interact with what.
Okay. Sure. That makes sense.
So
yeah, anybody in chat, if you're a little bit of a veteran to the format,
intermediate.
Yeah, like intermediate, and you know your way around the game, around the metagame a little bit. I think that's a big part of it. You got to know the metagame.
The biggest thing. Yeah.
Go ahead and pick this up. It seems pretty fun, and it's versatile in the fact that you pick up these cards, and it's not just like you're never gonna play these cards if you don't play this deck again. You get Burn, Jeskai Control, any kind of whatever. All these cards swap into other decks.
That's exactly what it was. I started on Control, and then I was able to put this together, and I just cycle between Control or this whenever I want.
How do you feel about Celestial Colonnade? I saw you play one, right?
Yeah, I have 2 in there.
Okay.
They're more for that grindy game if someone's able to wipe my board enough, and I just need a little extra pressure. pressure.
Yeah.
Don't use them too often. I'm probably gonna end up cutting just the one eventually, but that's one of those things like I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Yeah, it seems like it might like trip you up a little bit just being it comes in tapped. It has to come in tapped every time.
It does. That's why a lot of times like I'll pitch it and like if I'm opening hand with like low mana, I'll pitch it against faster decks. But against control, like I mean, I think I had it in both these games pretty early. You're able to play off of it, you know, bring it in tapped, and
yeah, you just gotta be able to work around it. Which, you know, another reason that it's like more of an intermediate than a
you have to know when to keep it. Like I said, I'd probably cut it down one for like I don't know, I think either the blue-white fast lane or the red-white one.
Okay.
Or maybe a Sulfur Falls. I don't know. Like I'd have to look at the mana base, but
sure.
I'm probably gonna end up dropping one.
Drop one for a fast line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as a aggressive tempo deck, that seems like the correct play. But you know, obviously, you got to play it for 2, 3, 4 months until you know exactly how the mana base works. So
yeah, it was tricky, but it's paying off.
Yeah,
right now.
it seems to be. It seemed to work really well. It wasn't like super clunky. You know, obviously every deck is gonna have those draws where you feel like, why, you know, what have I built?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, no, in the games that we saw, it seemed to just like curve out pretty well, which is exactly what it wanted to do, and it was like disruptive enough and face burning enough.
Yep. Yeah, it was able to hit tackle on multiple fronts. So.
All right. Well, we're going to get you out of here. I think the next round's about to start here soon. So congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I hope you have good luck in the rest of the tournament.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yep.